When you first open up my strategy backtesting spreadsheet, this is what you're going to see. You're going to have two tabs. One is the tab for just tracking your trades, and the second tab is for your data calculations. All of the formulas you see are here, but other than that, both of these are just blank sheets for you to get started with. For this first tab, the trades, it is just like I showed you on the backtesting video. It's just here for you to enter in the number of pips won and the pips lost. There are no formulas on this page. There's no there's nothing that works other than just however you want to type things in, and you're just going to populate your data. And just like I showed you on the sheet, the way I do it is just once I've gone through and I've tested, a pair and have all my data, that I just go through, I pick, a cell just somewhere below that. And when I'm ready for the calculations here, I am just going to select all of the data that I have in this column. And I'm going to look down here at the bottom, and I see that it gives me a count of 6 and a sum of 309. So I see that I won 6 trades, and I have a sum of winning 309 pips, and I'm going to do the same for the pips lost column. And if I look down here, obviously I have a count of 3 and a sum of 98. So I have 3 trades lost and a total of 98 pips lost. And so now I have this data here. And so all I'm going to do is take that data and plug it in my data calculation sheet so that I can find out if the pair that I'm testing with this exact strategy, with this exact settings on this exact time frame, how is it performing? How did it perform 4 years ago? How did it perform last year? How is it performing this year? And that can give me information of, is this pair a winning pair? Because a lot of times a strategy can be a really strong strategy, but the pairs you're trading them on don't lend itself well to that strategy, and you just think it's a horrible strategy, and so you start strategy bouncing instead of trying to figure out what isn't quite working right. And there can be true pairs that you just totally need to stay away from. In this case, we won 6 trades, we lost 3 trades. And so if we come over here to data calculations, this is what you're going to see when you open up the file. And this will say indicator or strategy. That's what you're gonna, if you have a name for it, and you can move these columns wider or smaller, whatever you want. If you have certain settings that you want to make notes about, if you want to have certain rules that you want to make notes about, put them in there. If you have a certain pair that you're testing, and the time frame, if you test different time frames, I would put that in there. And in this case, we have 6 wins and we have 3 losses. And so what we see is over that period of time, say that was over a week, we can expect 9 trades per week on average. And you would do that over testing over a year or testing over a month. Like, how many can you expect? And that's a good thing to know. In a pair and with a strategy, how many trades during the time that you trade, how many trades can you expect? And what we see is we have a win ratio of 66.67 and a loss ratio of 33.33. If we come back over here, we're looking at pips won and pips lost. What we have is 309 pips won and 98 pips lost. So we're going to put 309 in pips won and 98 in pips lost. And what we see is that there's a difference here of 211 pips. And what we have is, for the number of pips traded, we have a 51.84% profit margin. You can see the formulas up here at the top, and so you don't ever want to type in any of the shaded columns. You want to just let the formulas ride out. And anytime you see this divided by 0, div 0. All that means is there's a formula in that cell, but there's no data. And so as soon as you plug data in, that's going to turn into numbers that are usable for you. And then this last column here is for notes. So it's a very simple spreadsheet. There's not a lot to it. You can insert a column. You know, I've had columns before where I wanted to track what take profit I hit. And so you could come in here and select an entire column, and you can right click and you could say insert, and it'll insert a column. And you could put, you know, I might put take profit number. And so if I was tracking fibs, you know, I might want to say, well, and most of these, you know, hit you know, take profit 3. And that could also be back here on the trades tab. You know, I could also do another column here. I've had that before when I was doing something with fibs or something with the fib extension tool for managing it. I would say, okay, this one hit take profit 2, or that one wouldn't have hit any take profit because it was a loss. This one hit take profit 2, and this one hit 3, and this was take profit 1, and take profit 1, and take profit 3 and 4. And maybe that's information that you need to know, because if 70% of your trades are only hitting take profit 1 of your winners, then you need to look at, you know, how much would it raise how much would it raise your win-loss ratio, you know, if you not only took profit but closed out trades, look for new entries, you know, should that affect how much you're taking off the table, you know, when only 30% of your wins ever make it past take profit, you know, 2 or take profit 1, that gives you data. And so sometimes, you know, having a little bit more data, so don't be shy about you know, looking at different calculations and adding in, you know, a column. And if you want to take one out, you know, just select your column, right click, and then say delete, and that column is gone. But this is what the spreadsheet looks like when you get it. Again, the shaded columns and cells, don't type in those. The others, you really are only looking for 4 cells of data to get these calculations to give you the knowledge of how your strategy is performing. And if you happen to get down here where the calculations run out, select the cells, select the cells down below and hit Control D, and it will fill those in. Control down, just select down here and Control D, and that'll fill in the formula so that you can come in and you can put any numbers in here. 14, it's already given you your win-loss ratio. You got a 62% win-loss ratio, 37 trades for that month or however long you tested, and you won 1,400 pips and you lost, you know, 700 pips. And, you know, so you're seeing that your profit percentage there is only 33%. And I say only, that's still excellent. And, you know, then you're winning an average of 60 pips per trade, and you're losing an average of 50 pips per trade. So it's just information to help you, you know, gauge how your strategy is doing. So I hope the spreadsheet is a blessing to you, and that, you know, it is able to help you kind of jumpstart journaling and backtesting and keeping up with your trades. And feel free to customize it however you want, or to make your own.